What's up, guys? My name's Captain Dave and welcome back to the Captain's Quarters, the video in which I go through and answer all your questions and comments from last week's video. And as always, just to start this thing off, I have a few announcements, or well, really just one thing I need to say. That's just to clarify something that a few of you have been asking on other videos and stuff like that, and that's with regards to when is Mass Effect 2 going to end and what is coming next after that. And I just want to clarify a few things, because I think where you can only write a certain amount of characters in like the text comments, hence why I do this thing in the first place, I think a few things got a bit misconstrued. And that being that everyone seems to think that after Mass Effect 2 I'm not uploading anything because I've got no games to play. That's not true. I have plenty of games to play. Number one, of course, being Arkham Origins. I actually just finished playing that not 2 hours ago, but I'll get into talking to that in a little bit, because that's actually, I think, the first question. So I'll get talking about that in a little bit. But mainly, where I stand right now is my recording equipment is not broken. It was just when I had to exchange my Xbox way back when GTA first came out. The back of the Xbox, as I've mentioned loads of times on past episodes, didn't have the right plug-in slot where they normally have like, sort of the component SCART lead, the one in the back. Doesn't have that anymore, so I had to fish around for ages trying to find different ways. In the end, I had to buy a component converter sort of thing, and I ordered all the parts I needed. It's just they're coming in bits and pieces instead of in one package. They're coming very, very slowly, each coming a week in its own time. So it's I don't know, someone's really screwed the pooch on this one. They're taking their sweet time sending out all these wires, but I have one cable. I believe they said the estimated delivery date will be the 11th of November. Why it's taking that long, I have no idea. So hopefully I'll have that sooner, but as soon as I get that cable, everything should, fingers crossed, touch on wood, all of the above, everything should be up and running. And as soon as I get that, I can start recording Mass Effect 3 and I can start recording Arkham Origins. And after that, there are plenty of other games I want to see. I believe it's a question coming up later about the season for the Season 2 of The Walking Dead. Definitely want to play that. That trailer looked amazing. There's a Marvel Lego Heroes, definitely want to play that. When I borrow my friend's Xbox, I've got X-Men Legends 1 and 2, that is also on the back burner, that's going to be coming out. So trust me, there are plenty. Oh yeah, and Beyond Two Souls as well. So we have plenty of games. There is no shortage of games. It's just waiting for me to get my recording equipment fixed and up and running. And with regards to Mass Effect 2, you have, I would say, just over a week, and then that is Mass Effect 2 done. I have all videos uploaded. I've had them all uploaded for a long time now, and they're just sitting there waiting to go live. I believe, I don't want to say which part's the last part, because some people like it to be a surprise when it ends, as opposed to just, you know, me saying, right, it's this video, it ends, and you see it coming. But I believe you've got about a week to 10 days left, roughly, until all the videos I've uploaded are done. So yeah, just wanted to clarify that, just so everyone knows where we're standing with regards to things to expect and why there's nothing else being uploaded alongside Mass Effect 2. But with that out of the way, let's get on with let's get on with actually speaking correctly and then answering some of your questions. Starting off with 4 questions in a row by Josh Jenks. First being, so Dave, how are you finding Arkham Origins? I thought the story was great. And I, Josh, have got to agree with you. I thought Arkham Origins was fantastic. I was pleasantly surprised with how good Arkham Origins was. I mean, when I first found out that it wasn't being made by Rocksteady, it was being made by Warner Brothers instead, I was a little bit skeptical, and then I saw some of the new features they're adding in, and I was thinking, I'm not too sure. And on the whole origin story, I tend, when there's been like a story like where there's been Asylum and then City, and then they go back to the start, I always think it's a bit of a, I don't know, a bit of a cheap story, but they did it very, very well. I thought, if anything, I actually can easily say I preferred Arkham Origins to Arkham City. And I know a lot of people think City's the best one, but I disagree. I think the City was the worst one. I think it's a toss-up between Origins and Asylum over which one's my favourite. I'd probably still have to side with Asylum, but Origins is a very close second. I enjoyed the story throughout that. I thought it was amazing. I loved how you're actually being a detective. Batman's always known as the world's greatest detective, and it's just like, you're never actually really detecting anything, to be honest with you. you're sort of like, oh yeah, I knew he killed him, I'll go in detective mode, and that's about it. But I liked how you're actually solving crimes, and as you're going through, other crimes crop up, and you just have to try and find out who did it. I loved that. I thought that was brilliant. It was a feature I was a little skeptical about when I saw trailers for it, but when it actually came to the game, very well done. The only downside I could say to Origins was the fact they don't have Mark Hamill doing the voice of Joker, because I think that guy was the best Joker there is. And I don't care if people don't agree with me. As far as voice goes, I think Mark Hamill nailed it, and it's just such a shame that they couldn't have him for Arkham Origins. Whether that was because it was Warner Brothers or whether he could just personally not have time to do it, I don't know. But not having Mark Hamill as the Joker was just such a shame, because every time he spoke, I just thought, you're just not right. You're just not the Joker I've known to love throughout the Arkham series. But I think, what's his name? Is it Troy Baker, who did the voice of Batman? So Batman's voice also changed from Arkham Asylum and Arkham City to Origins. But I think he did a good job. I liked his take on Batman. It was very similar, but I liked it. I thought it was good. But no, in the whole, Arkham Origins, brilliant. All the different characters you're coming to meet, and you're coming to meet them for the first time, not as yourself, but also as Batman. So I thought Arkham Origins definitely good, and I'm looking forward to playing it again for the second time. City, when I started the walkthrough of that, obviously I wanted to do it, but I was a bit worn out on the Batman saga, and I wasn't a huge fan of City anyway. But Origins, very much looking forward to starting the walkthrough of that. I mean, I've still got to go around and collect all the fiddly Riddler side quests and stuff like that now. So, but yeah, no, Origins, great game, absolutely loved it. Can't wait to do the walkthrough. You also ask, did you see the announcement that they are making a Walking Dead 2 game set around Clementine? Yes, as I mentioned earlier, yeah, I saw the trailer for it. I think it was because I read your comment a little, what was it, 6 days ago it says there. And so I went out and I sort of sought out the trailer for it, and yes, it looks very good. And if the short trailer is anything to say, then it looks like it's going to be as good as Season 1. But then obviously it's a trailer, it's the whole job, it's supposed to build it up. But no, I'm very much looking forward to that. I still haven't played Walking Dead 400. A lot of people said they didn't like it, but I don't know, I think people are very sceptical these days. I think it will still be good. But yes, very much looking forward to that. You also asked, you gonna go see Thor Dark World at the cinema? Oh, you've already seen it by the time I'm reading this anyway. Yes, I wanted to go this week, but me and a few of my buddies who I wanted to go see it with, it's one of those things, you're trying to get about 5 people to go, and of course you're getting at my age, you've all got jobs and other commitments and stuff like that. It's very hard to get you all together to see it, but hopefully next week I should be seeing Thor. Now, I've been looking forward to that one for a long time. I was pleasantly surprised. It's been a good time to be me. I was pleasantly surprised with the first Thor film, so I'm going into this one very much looking forward to it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Okay, The Dark Man One Fest said, I would absolutely like it to be on iTunes, but I have an Android. I think if you have iTunes on your PC or Mac or whatever, and then you download the audio file on your iTunes, like you have to anyway, I think you can then just put it on your phone. I know I used to do that podcast. I download it on iTunes, find the audio file, and then I'll just literally drag and drop it into my phone. So, and I have an Android as well. So, as far as I know, it should be able to be done. With regards to iTunes, by the way, I should have actually mentioned that at the start. I haven't actually done it yet, just because I've just gone back to university again this week, and last week was just insanely hectic, which is weird because it was supposed to be my week off. But yeah, so I haven't actually gone around to actually converting any of these onto iTunes, but as soon as I do, I'll let you know. And with regards to that, it won't just be on iTunes. It will always be on YouTube. First and foremost, always on YouTube. It's just for those who want to listen to it on the go. I was also thinking about converting it into iTunes, but it will always be on YouTube. I'll never take it away from there. Josh Lay said, listening while reading the end of Civil War. Good man. You are a man of good taste. Captain Dave in Civil War. You are a man of good taste indeed. Ethan Brown. Dave, can you please play all the Lego Marvel Deadpool bonus levels? Didn't know there were any, but when I get the game, then I will be sure to give them a good old look. And also, speaking of Lego games, the friend of mine, Matt the Geek, as I said, check out his channel if he's going to be nice enough to lend me an Xbox. It's only fair you do that for him. But he said that he may also be lending me a few of the other Lego games, like Lego Batman and all the other Lego ones that go along with that. I think Lego Star Wars as well, or something like that. So yeah, if you ever see them crop up on my channel, you know to give him a big thank you every time. Jim Vernier said, AVGN Adventures is a side-scroller action game. Graphics are pretty retro, but if you want to understand the references in the game, watch a couple of episodes of AVGN to expect a lot of rage quitting for good reasons. Every time I read AVGN, I always ask what it is, and then someone tells me, and then next week I always forget again. I'm quite bad with abbreviations. Was it Angry Video Gamer Nerd, or something like that? I don't know. AJ Singh said, Dave, have you seen Captain America the Winter Soldier teaser trailer and X-Men Days of Future Past teaser trailer? What do you think of it? Yeah, the Captain America one I think looks really good. I think it's going to be much better than the first film. I think the first film I always saw as more just as an introduction to the Avengers, because you had all the other characters. And just for those who didn't know Captain America, I felt like they just kind of scraped together a film really quickly just so everyone knew who he was. And I think that's why almost Iron Man's taken the sort of the lead of almost taken the accidental role of the lead, because he was one of the first bigger Marvel films to produce this mass Avengers sort of thing going on. So everyone knows who he is, and it's weird because Captain America should really be paramount focus of the Avengers, but because his film was made last and had little sort of spotlight shone on it, I kind of felt like he was pushed away to the sidelines a little bit. But the Winter Soldier, that definitely looks good. I think I might have mentioned that actually in the last Captain's Quarters as well. But no, how he's working with S.H.I.E.L.D. and seeing this new world, our world now, through still his old eyes of World War II and stuff like that. I think it's going to bring up a lot of good points, and I think obviously knowing who the Winter Soldier is as well, I think it looks like it's going to be a good film. As I said last week, I'm not sure what I think of Scarlett Johansson with that flat, dull hair, but the film looks good. And X-Men Days of Future Past, I only saw that trailer because I read your comment last week, and that, I swear to God, gave me multiple nerdgasms. That film looks like it's going to be insane, and I cannot wait for May 2014. It generally looks like it's going to be good. I was kind of worried when I saw that Bryan Singer was creating it, because obviously he did the... did he do the original X-Men trilogy, or did he just do the first two films? I can't remember. But I know Bryan Singer did them, and I weren't a huge fan of them. They weren't bad, but I weren't a huge fan of them. But this one looks like it's going to be insane. It looks like, hopefully, they're hitting the nail on the head. Obviously, a teaser trailer is just showing you sort of highlights and best bits. They hasn't actually delved into it too much. But from what I can see, it looks like it's going to be a very, very good film. And I'm very much excited for it. Have you heard about I Am Alive, the video game? Would you play it? I think I watched a bit of gameplay on that once. I think I did. Is it kind of like a really oversaturated, what's the word? Desaturated game where it's very white and sort of rustic and sort of like modern day apocalypse sort of thing? If so, I believe I have watched some gameplay of that, and I think it looks alright. I remember at the time thinking I wanted to pick it up, but I don't know, I totally forgot about that game until I just read this. Probably, I can't see myself playing it anytime soon, but if someone literally just gave me the game, some hobo in the street to start throwing copies of I Am Alive at people, yeah, I'd play it. Also check out The Walking Dead Season 2, debut trailer. Fantastic, can't wait to get that. Do you watch the Gmod Idiot Box and Team 4 Star on YouTube? Nope. Do not. Haven't even heard of the first one. But, no, I don't watch half as much as... Actually, I barely watch any YouTube anymore, if I'm being honest with you. It's not because, I've risen above it and I think it's stupid. That's not what I think at all, because otherwise I wouldn't be making videos myself. It's just, I honestly don't have time. So the only ones I really do get to watch... The things I have been watching are things I don't really have to commit myself to. As lazy as that sounds, and it sounds like my cat is attacking something outside my door as well. Oh, that's creepy. It's pitch black out there and all I can see is its eyes. That's kind of scary, knowing I'm in my flat on my own in the dark with a cat attacking stuff. Fantastic. If it goes silent, call the police, okay? It'd be kind of weird if you could actually hear that though, because then it meant the criminal also uploaded this video for me and edited it, so that was nice of him at least. Anyway, get back on track. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, yeah, the only stuff I really watch these days is stuff I don't really have to commit myself to. So stuff like Manslayer with his Gamer Poops, fantastic. Come out once in the blue moon, but when they do, they definitely tickle my funny bone. I love those things. I actually, kind of like guilty pleasure, I watch quite a few YouTube poops. 9 times out of 10 they are absolutely terrible, but once in the blue moon they just they really get me going. They're so funny. But yeah, Manslayer is definitely good. Lou Roy's got his Pokemon walkthrough. I watch that every now and then because he uploads like once a week, if that. So it's something I can keep up with. SEX Phil, if I can watch him, I'll give him a watch. But as I say, sometimes I don't have time, and that's only like one 10-minute video a day. And it's like not even that sometimes I can keep up with because I just don't have the time. There's a few others, but it seems to be now I just watch things that people who upload less regularly, as weird as that sounds. Because there used to be a lot of YouTube people that I used to watch do walkthroughs and stuff like that, and they'd upload like a couple of videos a day, and I used to love it. I used to sit there and watch all of them every day as much as I could. But now I just don't have the time, which is a shame. And when I do have the time, I just don't have the energy to try and get into a walkthrough because I know I won't be able to follow it through for its entirety. So now, unfortunately, I don't really watch that many people these days. MasterKill492 said, I have a few questions for you this time, Cap. Alright, let's go through this one at a time. What are your thoughts on the new Assassin's Creed? I played a tiny amount of it at Eurogamer on the PS4. Thought it was alright, spent the entire time riding around on a boat, and every time I tried to get off the boat it said I had to leave combat to do so. And I thought I was, because I was trying to jump off a boat. I figured that was me leaving the combat. Evidently not, maybe some sharks wanted to get at me. But no, that is literally all I've played of Assassin's Creed, so I can't really comment. I haven't really played the other Assassin's Creeds either, so I couldn't even compare and say if it's any better. WWE 2014, haven't played it. I think I played 2013 around my friend's house. And yeah, those games, they're always fun for a laugh. As long as you're playing with friends, those games are hilarious. I can never see myself playing on my own. I used to love those games. I used to be obsessed with them, playing 24/7. General Manager mode, me and my brother, just endless hours of fun on that game. But in saying that, we used to play back from the days of WWE Attitude. So, and then you had the co-op story in the original SmackDowns before it was just called WWE. But yeah, no, I might play it around my friend's house once in the blue moon, but they're alright. They're just good for a laugh. Will you be doing a walkthrough of either one? No, I won't. That's for reasons I've just said. Do you by any chance own a Nintendo 64 when you was younger? Nope, I've never owned a Nintendo 64. I've played a few, but I've never earned one. I loved hearing your story on games. Had me reflect on my childhood a bit. Oh, that's good. Oh, thank you. I was kind of worried that bit might sort of spin people off into boredom. I tend to go, as you guys are well aware, I tend to go off on quite a bit of a tangent. When people ask me questions, I always delve into it in like way too much detail. So I was kind of worried I bored people a little bit with that, but I got a little bit nostalgic. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Would you agree or disagree that, oh my god, Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII was one of the hardest video game bosses ever? I haven't played Final Fantasy, so I cannot comment, but I'll take your word for it. And finally, I know it's early, but what are your plans for Thanksgiving? I'm English, so we don't celebrate Thanksgiving here, which I wish they did, because when I watch stuff like Friends, and basically everything I watch is American, so whenever I watch TV programs, Thanksgiving just looks amazing. It is just meat, and it's food, and it's friends, and it's just... It looks like the sort of holiday I wish we had in England if we weren't so boring and miserable and hated every other country. That's kind of my thoughts on it. But I wish we celebrated Thanksgiving. I don't see why we don't. I know it's got... Well, actually, no, I do see why we don't, because it's got nothing to do with us. It's an American holiday. But I wish we just celebrated it. Just almost... we could make up some, like, baloney excuse, like we're doing it to be nice, or to sort of... What's the word? Oh, when you see somebody else's point of view. I can't think. But yeah, when you're just to sort of like be like, yeah, you know, we agree with the Americans. We like the Americans. Let's do Thanksgiving. I just want to eat a big ass turkey to myself. And we've got a question here from Gareth Vakarian. Hey Dave, I assume you didn't answer my question because you didn't see them before you made the video, so I will repeat them for next week's video in a separate comment apart from this one. Oh, good job on your videos as always. Yes, that was actually exactly the reason. I started... I actually remember your question popping up because... As you know, I get emails to my phone every time anyone writes a question on comment on any of my videos. And I was rendering the video I just finished editing, like this Captain's Quarters, like the one you just commented on, and then your question popped up, and I was like, ooh, too slow, just too slow, so close. Yeah, I normally, on the whole, Yes, I just said on the whole. I normally record the Captain's Quarters either on Sunday or Monday and try and get them uploaded on Tuesday. You can't really, hold me to that, but that's normally when I do. So if you're uploading, like if you're writing a question on last week's Captain's Quarters on a Sunday or Monday, there's a good chance I may have already recorded the next episode, so be warned. But anyway, your question was, hey Dave, the other day I was thinking about what BioWare could do to add onto and improve and maybe even add new classes, and I was thinking they could give each class 2 different ways to go when you level up the class speciality, like they did in their first 3 games, but actually make another class out of those choices, like in MMOs. So I see what you mean. So like, you start off as an adept or something like that, and kind of like with their level up tree that they have now, where you have like 2 different options, you have to pick one. Make that branch out a bit more, so once you're fully upgraded that character's branch tree, you're actually no longer an adept, you're like some, just for argument's sake, an adept engineer or something like that. Obviously it would have a brand new name, it wouldn't be a mixture of 2 different things, but just like that, you could be called like a warrior or something like that. If you upgrade your soldier class and you take one particular branch, you then become a warrior, or you take another one and you could be called a tank or a brute or something like that. So yeah, I see what you mean. Like, you level up and you can actually almost make your class become another class. So I don't know, I think that's quite a good idea. I think the one issue might possibly would be with that is because obviously Mass Effect is such a diverse game. 6 classes and 6 different types is already hard enough, especially when quite often what class you are ventures into like their speech options and stuff like that. I think that might be hard from an actual creation of the game point of view. But I mean, if they were to add that into the game, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I'd be up for that. I just think it would. I'm not sure if they'd do it, just because I think it would be something very, very hard to actually implement into the game itself. But no, I wouldn't mind if they did it. And one last question. What new classes do you think they should add? To be honest, I'm happy with the classes they've got. That's one thing that I thought. I don't like talking about it because there's too many people that are like hardcore fans of it, and I'm really not. But it's the one thing that I felt made Call of Duty go down the pooper. It was every time they just added more and more to it, and in the end you're sitting there and it's like Call of Duty 25, when you can kill these people and then they come back to life, and then you can kill them with this bullet, but if you kill them with this bullet, they turn into a zombie. But you kill them with this bullet with this attachment, and then they blow up, and then you feed those remains to the wolves, and then you blow up the wolves with your 25 kill streak. And it's just like, whoa, slow down. It's just way too much into the game, way too much into it. And I just think that's an issue when you bring out a sort of seasoned sort of game, like with Call of Duty or Battlefield, or let's say Resident Evil, even to a certain extent, or some. What's the other one that I just had on the tip of my tongue? I'm forgetting. There was another one I just thought of. But when you have games that are kind of like in a series like that, where they just come out one after the other, and there's no real sight of it ending, and quite often they feel like they need to add more stuff into it to keep people entertained. But I don't think that's true at all. I think mix it up a little bit, but don't keep adding new stuff, because in the end you have so many new things in the game, it just becomes a complete clusterfuck, pardon my language. But yeah, it's just I think they're full with their 6 classes. I don't really think they should add much more to it. But if they wanted to make that sort of thing where they specialize, like their classes get specialized, yeah, I think that would be quite cool. Babylon 218 said that Lego Marvel Superheroes has been released in the US for about a week or so, but here in the UK we won't get it for another couple of weeks. Damn you Yanks! Getting games before us. It's just not fair, as I told you. And it's reason like this, by the way, can I just mention that pirating happens. If they released a film or a game or whatever, or a TV series in every country at the exact same time, then nobody would. There will still be those jerks, because there are always people out there that don't want to pay for stuff. But if everyone got the game or the film or whatever at the same time, then everyone would go out and buy it at the same time, and everything would be hunky-dory. But like classic example, The Walking Dead. You guys get it in America a week before we get it in the UK. So I think you get it on Monday, we get it on Friday. And everyone I'm at uni with, they watch it online on Monday or Tuesday morning or something like that. And it's like, because they don't want to wait a week till Friday to watch it. And as a result, all the TV channels here in England are now missing out, because they're not getting viewers on their TV channel watching The Walking Dead, because everyone's already watching America's version online. And if they just released The Walking Dead on Monday, or held it back in America till Friday, then everyone would watch it at the same time, and it would really reduce pirating. But I don't know, I just thought I'd throw that in there, see as how we're talking vaguely about it. Robert Hill says, will you be playing Elder Scrolls Online? No. I can almost guarantee I probably won't be. Nothing against the game, it's just Elder Scrolls is a game that you kind of really have to throw yourself into. And I don't have the time right now. I really want to at one point just set aside some time and just really getting into like the whole Elder Scrolls series, Oblivion, Skyrim, whatever the hell is coming out next. I'd really like to one day just throw myself into all that, but as you all know, I just do not have the time right now. Maybe I should get myself into some sort of injury and break both my legs and just have like 6 months off or something. No, maybe that'd be a bit detrimental. Jack Lunis says, Dave, are you excited for Avengers 2? Extremely so. Can't wait. I love a Marvel film. It honestly gets me through the year waiting for Marvel films. JDude281 said, what games are you going to play after ME3 and Arkham Origins? Yeah, like I said at the start of this video, you got Marvel, Lego Superheroes, you got Beyond Two Souls, you got both X-Men Legend games, maybe some other Lego superhero games like Batman and stuff like that. And yeah, Mass Effect 3 and Arkham Origins. They're the ones I've least I know for definite I'm going to be doing. So, other than that, you know, who knows? Only the future will tell. And JDude281 also said, why the hell do you call things pants? Just because I do. It must be another English saying. Something's silly or just pathetic or not good at all, you call it pants. Because that's exactly what it is. It's just a big pair of pants. Gareth Fakarian said, in the new Mass Effect games, I think they should do vehicles like in ME and ME2, but put a lot more time, thought and effort into it. Yeah, I can definitely say that with the Mako. And they should do several vehicles, not just one. I think that would be cool if they added space battles into the game where you can dogfight with fighters and dreadnoughts and so on and so forth. What do you think about that? And if you don't think so, what new things would you like to see them put in and do with the combat? I do agree that they kind of lacked, I don't know, I wouldn't say necessarily thought, but yes, definitely more of the time. I think they really didn't put that much time into the vehicles. I mean, as much as I bang on about how bad the Mako was, I think that once you actually get used to driving the Mako, it's not too bad. It's just, yes, oh, I just said it, oh, blasphemy, and I'm still not going to say I like Jacob or Aaron Cash, but the Mako wasn't all that bad as much as I mess around. Once you get used to how to drive that thing and you realise that you don't actually have forwards and backwards, if you just hold up and just turn your turret round, then it makes driving a hell of a lot easier. But yeah, I think the Mako was alright. I loved the Hammerhead. Is that what? No, the Firewalker. Sorry, the Firewalker DLC. Is that thing called the Hammerhead? I'm completely forgetting. Yeah, the Firewalker DLC. Loved that thing, except for it was flimsy as all hell. It's like, I swear a pigeon could poo on you. Could take a big dump on that thing and it would start blowing up and the sirens would go off. But yeah, I think I don't know, they could have put more vehicles into it, but then I liked the fact that Mass Effect was on foot. If they had put too many vehicles into it, then I think half the gameplay you'd spend just rocking around in a vehicle, shooting other vehicles, and then you might as well be playing a completely separate game by that point. Although, in saying that, Mass Effect 1, there wasn't one like main story quest mission where you weren't in the Mako, and then every single side mission you had to rock around an uncharted planet in the Mako as well, so you actually spent pretty much all of that game in the Mako. But with regards to like fighting dreadnoughts and like dogfights and like with other fighters and stuff like that, I'm a bit skeptical, to be honest with you. I think if it was done right, I think it'd be quite good, but I could see it, I don't know, taking away from what Mass Effect really is, because you never actually at any point was in control of the Normandy. It was always Joker was in control of the Normandy, and if at any point you could suddenly then control the Normandy and make it fly around and start shooting stuff, I mean, other than when you're plotting your course on the galaxy map. And in Mass Effect 3, there's a whole thing with the Reapers, obviously, but I don't want to go into too much of that. But it's not actually you controlling the Normandy as such. It's more you just plotting where you're going to go. But if they actually had you like shooting the Normandy, or even if you're just in the fighter shooting or something like that. I don't know. I don't think it would work too well, because like with vehicles on the ground, you know, Shepard's actually driving the thing. I think actually, if you're in like a one-man fighter and it was actually part of a mission, like say you're chasing someone and they get up in and they take off in a fighter and you take after them, you got to try and shoot them down and you're above a planet, and yeah, I could see that being alright. That'd be quite cool. Kind of like in the Shadow Broker DLC, where you got to chase the Spectre in the taxi cab sort of thing. I mean, something like that I could see being good, but I could, if you actually controlled the Normandy and you're using the Normandy for a fight with other like pirates and stuff like that, then no, I personally wouldn't like that. I think the whole point is you're the commander of the ship. You're not. Oh, I don't know, actually, being the commander of the ship, you could be relaying commands to Joker as to what to do, so I don't know, it'd have to be done well, but I'm a bit sceptical, to be honest with you. Josh Jenks, I also prefer Origins to City. I complete the story today and finish off the side missions now. Yeah, so, as I said to you, good man, good taste. What do you think about the Deathstroke boss battle? I think it was the best in the game. I did think it was pretty cool. I was going to say, I thought the Bane one was quite hard. Not necessarily, it's the very, very, very last thing you do with Bane. I didn't say it was necessarily hard. I just, once I actually realised what I was supposed to do, I thought it was very easy. But for ages, they were banging on saying, you've got to sneak up on him. And every time I did, I got caught. And I was thinking, the only thought that was going through my head is, thank God I don't do blind walkthroughs. It's reasons like that. Obviously, none of you saw what I was doing today, but it's reasons like that I don't do blind walkthroughs, because I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing in this Bane boss battle earlier, and I was there for ages just thinking to myself, what the hell am I supposed to do? And like when I'm supposed to be trying to head to like locations and I've got no idea where it is, and I'm running back and forth, and then it turns out it was right in front of my face. So yeah, reasons like that I don't do blind walkthroughs. But no, I thought the Deathstroke boss battle was quite cool. It was kind of like, I guess it was the whole point, but you're going against someone who was like evenly matched to Batman, but I liked it. I thought a lot of the boss battles were good. I think that quite a lot of them, some of them were similar to one another, but they just kind of mixed it up a bit. So like one person had great fighting skill, but then there was lots of them, and another one had great fighting skill, but then it was just the one person. And then you got other bosses that just throw minions at you 24/7. So I thought it was quite good. They mixed it up quite a bit, but yeah, the Deathstroke boss battle was alright. I can't remember it really. I can't really remember any boss battles standing out in my head especially well, to be honest with you, other than the Bane one, but that was only because I've literally just played it, so it's kind of in my mind right now. And also, JDude281 said something that I very much agree with. Everyone gets simpler names so Dave can pronounce it. I think he's onto something right there. The amount of times I get your names wrong, honestly, I think you're actually willing to kill me. And case in point, next name, Sean Scoper. I'm just going to call you Sean. Hi, Sean. He said, hi, Dave. Have you watched X-Men Days of Future Past trailer? Yep, as I mentioned earlier, it was awesome. If you have, can you give me your opinion on the trailer? And if you have not seen it, you need to. It was epic. Yeah, so as I said earlier, I thought the trailer was awesome. I think it bodes very good things for the future of X-Men. I was kind of worried it was dying out for a while. So, yeah, I definitely think it's got the makings of a good film coming. Alright, the Captain Jr. said, alrighty, do you think they could make another Batman game? I've heard rumours of a fourth Batman game. Not exactly sure what they'd do it about, to be honest with you. Unless they place it between... No, they can't. Because I was about to say they could place it between Asylum and Origins, but then there's stuff in the credits of Origins that basically insinuates that Asylum is like smack down after it, so... I don't know. They could make another Batman game, but I'd be curious where they'd do it. They'd have to put it after City. They'd just have to. I don't see... Unless they made like the Batman Origins, where it's how he actually became Batman, but then that would just be pants. It would be kind of like they're making a movie version, like a game version of the film. So I would always like another Batman game, if it was as good as Origins, I'd be happy with another Batman game. But then if they were to say Origins is the last one, then I'd be happy with that. They're bowing out on a good note, you know. I like it. I'd always prefer something to end and me want more then for it to end and me think, oh good lord, that was terrible. You know, why did they make that? So yeah, they could. I'd play it if they made another one, but I just don't see where they can go with it now. Would you play a game where Batman and Robin and Shepard had to team up to save each other's worlds? Yes, but I would very much doubt the game would be any good. Yeah, I don't see how they would do that. I think the game would be pretty awful, but I'll probably still play it. Who is your favourite DC villain? Mine is Joker because he's an absolute badass and he is hilarious. And who is more boring, Jacob or Vision? And who is the worst, Aaron Cash or horrible AI characters? Alright, okay. I don't really know that many DC villains, so I'm just going to have to go with the obvious answer and say, yeah, mine's probably Joker as well. He's just... I have two favourite kind of villains. They're kind of like the Megatron sort of bad guy, where he's just pompous and arrogant and he's... I am the best and nobody can be better than me. I always think they're quite entertaining just to listen to. And then you got the crazy ones like Joker. Mainly because he's the type of crazy. Not just that I will kill anybody crazy, but the fact that he's laughing about it. And I don't know, I've got to say, Joker is a favourite of mine. I know he's obviously everyone's favourite, but hey, I'm falling in with the crowd. I've got to say, I do like Joker. Who is more boring, Jacob or Vision? Yeah, when I said last week that I wanted Vision to die or something, it was honestly just through lack of better answers. I just couldn't think of anyone better. But who's more boring? Probably Vision, actually. Yes, I know, right? I just said it. That's not giving Jacob a compliment. He's just got more personality than Vision. It's just a fact. And who is worse, Aaron Cash or horrible AI characters? Oh, Aaron Cash, hands down. Aaron Cash is worse than everything. Everything, everywhere. And by the way, Aaron Cash was not in Origins, and I think that's why it makes it probably the best game. That's why Arkham Asylum and Arkham Origins are on par. Because Arkham Asylum, not only do I love that game and how it's all based on one island, but that has Mark Hamill doing the Joker. However, it also has Aaron Cash. Arkham Origins, however, no Mark Hamill, but then no Aaron Cash. So I think they kind of put them on par with each other, to be honest. But no, Aaron Cash, definitely. Horrible AI characters, you can either just let them die, or you can just kill them, or you just leave them to do your own thing, or start from checkpoint. Aaron Cash, it doesn't matter what you do, he is always there, and he's always going to be shouting at you. So yeah, Aaron Cash, definitely the worst out of everything ever. And, oh my god, I am related to Hugh Jackman, I just found out on November 7th. Are you really? Well, next time you see Hugh, say hello to him for me. Don't tell him I have a little bit of a man crush on him. That might become awkward. The Ninth Path said, "What's up, Krogan Dave? Thanks for answering my question last week. You're more than welcome. My question for this week is, what if you could build an X-Men game from scratch? How would you do it? Since X-Men 2 Clone Wars was from Genesis, is the standard bearer of the X-Men game. Have you ever played it? Hope you get the recording straight so you can start recording, take it easy. Okay. If I could build my own X-Men game, wow, that's kind of a hard question, because it's like I've always said with like X-Men films, is even though Days of Future Past looks quite good, I always feel X-Men should have the same approach that Game of Thrones and Walking Dead does, where they have it where it should be a TV series, but they have a movie budget. So there's only like 10 or 12 episodes in a season, but they have a massive movie budget for those 10 and 12 episodes. Because I feel like the X-Men characters, there's just so many in there, you can't properly portray them all just within an hour and a half of movie footage. So that's why I feel there should be a series. And I think the same kind of goes with a game. I mean, there are a lot of games that have done it well when it comes to X-Men, but I personally, I hate to just not give an answer, but honestly I have no idea. I've never given any thought into the subject. But if someone was to do an X-Men game, I think one thing they keep forgetting, if someone was to do an X-Men game, I feel they would have to focus around the actual mansion itself. That might sound like odd, but I feel it would need to be quite story heavy. Like, you know how I love my stories, but there need to be quite a few cutscenes based around the mansion, and not just moving the story forwards, but they'd need to throw in little side bits, like the characters just taking pops at each other, or little jokes, or little digs at each other. Something like that actually makes you feel like, yeah, these are the X-Men. These are people who are heroes, but yet they live with each other and get on each other's nerves. Like the same feeling you get when you read the X-Men comics. Like there's big danger and scary stuff going on, but they still have their own personal dramas going on. And I feel they'd need to incorporate that into a game as well. What the game would actually entail and how the game would work, no idea. You could maybe have it like a... you could do it almost like a Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 sort of scenario, or X-Men. Actually, yeah, of course they know. They did it first in X-Men Legends, didn't they? Where you had, like, you get to pick your 4 X-Men. And you can alternate between them 4 throughout the level as you go, and then at the end of each level you can then switch up again. I think they should do it again like that style. Actually, it's worked for Ultimate Alliance, it's worked for X-Men Legends. I think they should do it in that style again, just with sort of the more processing power and graphic ability of 2013, or 2014, I guess, by the time the game came out. But yeah, that's how I do it. And X-Men 2 Clone Wars. No, I haven't played that one, to be honest with you, so couldn't give my thoughts on it. JDude281 said, oh, luckily you played Arkham Origins the whole way through and there's no Aaron Cash. Yeah, as I just said, so yeah, thank God for that, Thank God for that. JDude281 said, quick Dave, top 5 superheroes go. I think I've answered this question in a previous Captain's Quarters. Pretty certain I have, but just for the likelihood of this, in no particular order: Spider-Man, Iceman, Cyclops, The Thing, and Juggernaut. I know he hasn't always been a hero, but hey, Juggernaut, why not? I've forgot loads of great people, but yeah, just off the top of my head, you know I'm terrible at picking up answers out of nowhere like that. You also asked, why the hell do you hate Johnny Depp? Every time he's in the movie, even if it has a bad storyline, he usually makes the movie interesting. Yeah, he might make the movie interesting, but that still doesn't mean he makes the movie good. It's not him, he's a great actor. I'm not going to lie, Johnny Depp is a great actor, and he is talented. It's nothing he's done wrong, it's just a fundamental biological thing. I hate his face. I just look at him and I want to punch him and grab that little tiny moustache off it, shave it off, and then just make him swallow it. And then make him eat when it comes out the other end. I just hate Johnny Depp, I really do. And it's not his fault, bless him. He's done nothing wrong. I just look at his face and I just want to hurt him. It must be something biological. I just don't like him. I don't know why. Poor man, he's done nothing wrong. I just don't like him. Idris Nabi said, can you do Assassin's Creed 4 walkthrough? Sorry, no. As I said, I've never played any Assassin's Creed. I don't really plan to anytime soon. I know they're good games, they're just not really appealing to me. So no, I wouldn't really expect a walkthrough from me. Zachary Ziegler said, thanks for answering my question. By the way, I only picked Walking Dead Universe because I needed a 4th question. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anyone would normally pick Walking Dead, and if they did, I think that raises more questions. And then Zachary Ziegler asked a question which I think a lot more people should do it like quite often you say to me, oh, what's my top 5 this, or what's my top 5 that, and then I sit there for ages trying to come up with it, and then I give you some sort of lame ass answer because I can't actually think of my top 5 because I'm sort of put on the spot. If you want to ask me questions, ask me a question like Zach has. If you could pick a power, would you pick A, fire, B, wind, C, water and ice, or warrant and ice as you put, D, electricity, or E, earth and rock? Give me multiple choice questions. That way, it's nice and simple for me and I can just pick an answer. Yes, definitely format your questions like this. I like this way of answering questions a lot more. So if I could actually pick a power, what would I pick? I always thought fire was cool. I always saw Human Torch, thought that was awesome. But if I had to narrow it down, as much as I love the thought of having electricity as a power, I think that would just be badass. I'd have to go with water and ice. Not warrant and ice, I'd have to go with water and ice. So the first time I read that, I thought I was like getting a mixture of ice power and I get to turn into the man Warwick whenever I liked. But yeah, I'd have to go with water and ice. I think people underestimate how omega of a superhero you'd be if you're able to control water molecules. It's just it is everywhere. It's in the air. It's everything. But yeah, it's got to be water and ice, and it's badass. Victor Ivanov said, "Hi Cap, thanks for answering. Thanks for the awesome videos. What is your least favourite X-Man?" Ooh, least favourite. Yeah, see, this would have been a perfect multiple choice one if you listed 5 X-Men and said which are your least favourite, even if you said in order. Least favourite X-Men. There's a few X-Men that I've always hated. Just who's the X-Men? He's not actually an X-Man. He's more of a student, I think. But the one who's just a skeleton. I have to say skeleton again. The one who's a skeleton and all his skin is see-through. He's like translucent. I hate that guy. I look at him and I'm thinking, why? And every time there's a big event where loads of the kids or loads of the characters get killed, he always survives. I'm like, come on, you walk in a room and you're the Purifiers or you're any of these anti-mutant groups and you see a big blob with floating eyeballs, you shoot at him first. It's just, your eyes would naturally go to that one. You wouldn't hit the tiny little wolf boy in the corner. Your eyes go to the big gelatinous blob in the corner. And yet every time there's a massacre at the school and then fucking Mr. Blobby walks out again all alive. It's just like, good God, man. Why has nobody killed you yet? But yeah. No, I wouldn't say he's necessarily my least favourite, but he's the first one that's come to my mind. It's just, come on, guys. He's never done anything, and yet he's still alive. It just baffles me. Yeah, but as I said, he's probably not my least favourite. It's just I find it too hard to think out every single X-Men that ever is and ever was, trying to pick up like a least favourite. But yeah, give me multiple choice questions, and I can narrow that down real quick for you. Jim Vanina. So what do I call you Vanina for? Jim Vanina. I'm pretty excited for the new Thor film personally. Dark World were pretty ballsy for the Thor to be teaming up with Loki. I'm sure it's necessary. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's going to be a badass film. Ender Maximum said, "Get Arkham Origins!" It was all in caps lock, that's why I said that. I didn't just hulk out. Yeah, I've already got Arkham Origins. It was great. I completed it. BS, love your channel. Oh, I love your picture icon, I assume. What is that? Is that Master Chief with a minigun? Jelius Beast 1 said, I think Ultron is created by Tony Stark in Avengers 2 because at Comic-Con in San Diego, Joss Whedon showed a clip of an Iron Man helmet turning into Ultron's head. So maybe Ultron is a corrupt Jarvis AI. Yes! That, I think, is actually a fantastic way for them to do Age of Ultron in Avengers 2. Again, I think it was because I read your comment 5 days ago when you posted it that I first came aware of this. But yeah, I think that's a brilliant way of doing it. It would be silly for them to bring in Hank Pym into the Avengers 2 just for him to create Ultron. I thought the only way they were going to do it, I thought that maybe they'd have Ultron come back, start messing stuff up, and then they realise that in the future Hank Pym creates him. So they go and find Hank Pym, who hasn't even began to create him yet, and then they're trying to save him or whatever, blah 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 blah. But no, I think that's a better way. Why even bother bringing Hank Pym into it when you can just have one of Tony Stark's Iron Man suit? I mean, let's face it, they look quite similar anyway. So you can have one of his Iron Man suits just almost become like an unshackled rogue AI, where it's an intelligence in itself, and it becomes Ultron because it sees. Whether the Ultron's there to try and stop the Avengers or whether it's trying to stop mutants, I'm guessing it's going to just try and stop all super people. I don't know, just a guess. As I said, I haven't read Age of Ultron, so I don't know how much it's actually connected to that comic book event. But no, I think that's definitely good. And as I was saying earlier, it seems like Tony Stark's become the accidental leader of this whole Avengers phase, Avengers 1, 2, 3, whatever. It's become almost like the leader of this whole film movement. So, yeah, the fact that it's one of his suits that's going to be turning into Ultron, I think is definitely great. Especially regarding what happened at the end of Iron Man 3 as well. It's kind of like maybe you shouldn't have rebuilt them. Goku Ninja 200 said, do a let's play of Lego Marvel Superheroes? Of course. What's up, said, how's that Varan Scowitch going, Sup Dave, little info for you. Abe's Odyssey is being remastered for the PS4 and you should put this on iTunes. Is it? Really? Abe's Odyssey is getting remastered for the PS4? Oh, hot damn. There was me saying that I'm not going to get the PS4 or the Xbox One until a game comes out that makes me want to get one. And I think I've just found my game, Abe's Odyssey. Well, there you go. That's really made me happy. Abe's Odyssey. Fantastic. The Darkman 1 Fest said, comic knowledge. Did you know the original writers for Daredevil went on to DC to make Batman what he is today? Oh, there you go. Look at that. You keep plugging away, you can get it right eventually. I'm saying, well, I'm glad they. If you actually thinking about it, Daredevil and Batman, in personality-wise, are kind of similar. As I said, I haven't really read any Batman. Actually, I haven't really read any much Daredevil either, so I could have just offended both fans insanely. But I mean, their costumes look the same, like with the pointy ear bits, and you know, they both got something sort of brusque, husky, brrr kind of attitude to them. The most least intimidating superhero ever. Brrr, tell me where they are. Where are they? But yeah, well, there you go. At least they went on to do something miles better than Daredevil. Said I too have a Varan crush on Mr. Jackman. Yeah, I'm not sure if he goes for Varan. Sorry, mate. I'm not sure he goes for dudes either. Silver Moon Dragon 000 said, hi Dave. They just announced the season 2 of the Walking Dead game. Yep. Love the first walkthrough. Will you make one of season 2? Of course. Obviously, as soon as I can, I'm going to play season 2 of Walking Dead. Thing is, I got season 1 on my PC. And I did the walkthrough on my PC. Since then, my version of Fraps has expired. So whether I'm going to get season 2 on the Xbox or the PS3, and then I might have to get season 1 again and play through it again with the same choices, I don't know. If I get it on PC, then it means I'd also have to buy some recording software for the PC, like Fraps or something like that. So who knows? But yes, I'll definitely try and make a walkthrough of season 2. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be really cool. I mean, that first game was just a whole bundle of emotion. So yeah, definitely looking forward to season 2. VladX94 said, I played Lego Marvel Superheroes on my PC, and Jesus Christ, there are a hell of a lot of characters in this game. Yeah, I played a bit of that at Comic-Con Eurogamer, and they only showed you like a fraction of how many characters there were, and they were pushing a good 20, 30 even then. Even characters from movies like the Mandarin. Also, my favourite type is fighting, mostly because I play fighting games, fire, maybe even psychic. Oh, you're talking about Pokemon there. Electric, blah, blah, blah. Alright, fair enough. Speaking of Lego Marvel, when will the first video be, and will you be doing side missions? Also, you know, there is the Juggernaut. Oh yes, there is the Juggernaut. First thing I did when I picked up the controller at Eurogamer was switch character to the Juggernaut. I was like, get out of it, Hulk. It's all about the Juggernaut. I think I was Goblin than Juggernaut actually. But yeah, when I get Lego Marvel, I'll be looking at all the side missions and that. I'll play through it myself, see how everything rolls out, and I'll get sort of like a strategy for doing a walkthrough for it. But yeah, I'll probably be doing side missions. I don't see why not. I normally upload side missions and stuff like that if I feel it's applicable. Yusuf Yasir said, Dave, a friend of mine told me in school that Mass Effect might be based around Shepard's son-daughter, depending on who you romance. P.S. Did you know that me and Doris are mates? No, I didn't know that you and Doris are mates, but hi. Good, I'm glad you are. It's actually kind of cool thinking about it. The fact that you guys watch my videos and then go to school and chat about it. It's actually kind of cool. When I used to watch people's videos, I'd then go and have nobody to chat to about it because none of my friends watch that. They only watch football. But yeah, I'm not sure about that, to be honest with you. I think it'd be better if they just stick like completely away from Shepard, because basing it on his son and daughter, that's already like straight off the bat too many variables. I mean, if you romance Liara, your character's going to be an Asari for starters, so you got that. If you romanced Ashley, your child will just be like a human, male, female, whatever. What if you romanced Tali? I mean, what's your child going to be? Is it going to be human? Is it going to be Quarian? Can they even reproduce like different species like that? Because I know Asari can, obviously, but can humans and Quarians, can they actually mate? What about if you're a female and you're dating Garrus? It's like, would it be Turian? Would it be human? Can they reproduce this? I'm not sure if that would quite work. I doubt, and I really hope they don't go that route. I think it should just be something completely separate from Shepard. And you also spent a lot of time, it seems, playing Arkham Origins as well. Yeah, don't blame me. I played it every chance I could get. Blast High Studio said, which region of the Pokemon games would you like to live in? And also, my favourite type is Dark. If I had to pick, I don't know. I feel if I had to pick, I would probably just do. I'd probably either live in the Kanto region or be in a bit of a So it might be classed as cheating. I'd probably live in the Johto region just because it's right next to Kanto. So if I wanted to, I could just travel to Kanto. But I don't know. I played. I think the most amount of hours I put in were into Gold, Silver, Crystal, and then Heart Gold, Soul Silver. So I'd probably pick Johto. As much as I love all the Kanto Pokemon, there are a lot of Kanto Pokemon are in Johto. So I'd probably pick Johto. I know that map like the back of my hand. I think the legends are quite cool. The story's cool. I like the layout of the land. Yeah, I'd pick Johto. Why not? Kanto's obviously awesome. I'd love to have all the Pokemon from Kanto, but you gotta go Johto. I just love the way that rolls. Yusuf Yasir said, Dave, why do you hate Johnny Depp? Well, I've already gone into that one, so let's not open up that kettle of fish again. Yusuf Yasir said, and also Cap, did you know Falcon's in the new Captain America film? Yes, I did. When I first saw him, I thought it might be Patriot, but then obviously took off in flight, and I just did a really girly animation with my hands then. Thank God I don't. Thanks God I don't record myself, like my face when I did this, because I just did the most girliest hand action when I was talking about Falcon, and I've done it every single time I've mentioned it since then. Dave, stop doing that. You also asked that, Dave, also The Wolf Among Us is the same as The Walking Dead, where you choose what to do and what to say, and it affects everyone around you. Oh, fair enough. I might have to look at it one day in the future. You also asked, finally, will you do a reveal? What do you mean? Reveal my face? Reveal where I live? Reveal like my setup for my game and stuff? Or just reveal some random thing on the pavement? Narrow it down for me. But if you're talking about reveal what I look like and just like sit in front of the camera and stuff like that, I wouldn't expect it anytime soon. I really doubt I'm gonna do it anytime soon. If I do it, I probably will do it at some point in the future, but I just see no reason to do it yet. If I ever did, the odds are it'd be these Captain's Quarters things. It'd be these would become like more like a vlog sort of thing, where I'm actually sitting here and where I'm answering your questions, you're actually seeing me answer your questions. But yeah, that would be the only way I'd do it. But I just don't feel like doing it yet. And your last question was, finally, is that a picture of you wearing the Batman shirt on your Twitter? Yes. Oh yes. Yeah, I forgot I had a picture there. Yes, on my Twitter. That is a picture of me in a Batman shirt. That was my awesome adventure to the beach down in Skegness when I went away for the week with my girlfriend. We went to the beach. I dug a massive hole in which you can only see my head poking out the top of it, and then that hole eventually caved in on me. But no, it was a successful day. I bought a spade, I dug a hole, I ate an ice cream. All was good in the land of Dave. You wouldn't think I'm 25, would you? But yeah, that is me looking very triumphant on my trip to the beach. Yeah, where I live, the beach is not exactly very nice. So yeah, going somewhere else and being on a nice beach like that was quite nice. But yeah, if anybody wants to slightly go and creep over what I look like, then yeah, there's a picture of me on Twitter. You can't really exactly see what I look like because I'm wearing shades and standing quite far away. But yeah, if anyone wants to go be a bit of a creep, my picture's right there on Twitter. So there you go. Mission Unstoppable 1 said, hey Dave, another awesome video. Just wanted to say that I like these videos on YouTube. If you want to put them on iTunes, I don't have a problem with it. Cool, fair enough. As I say, I've been a bit lazy, so I haven't done it yet. But as I say, whether these go on iTunes or not, they will always still be on YouTube as well. Never going to stop taking them off, putting them on YouTube. Mission Unstoppable 1 also said the default. Oh right, cool. The default Mass Effect 1 thing is if you haven't played Mass Effect 1 and you just start Mass Effect 2, it means you haven't made any decisions in Mass Effect 1. So the default starting thing will be, unless you download the DLC that lets you make some choices, the default choices will be that Rex was killed, Ashley survives Vermeer, and Shepard kills the Council. So pretty much the worst possible outcome. I mean, Ashley, Caden, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's pretty much the worst possible outcome. So that's why you need to play the first one. If in doubt, you can download some DLC where you get to make some choices in almost like a flipping... No, I didn't mean that. And you get to flip through a comic book and make the choices. The Ninth Path said, what's up, Dave? The Juggernaut lost a step. Brother Charles Xavier, the only family he had, left months ago. He might not like Xavier, but he did respect him somewhat. What do you think? What you think would happen if Jugs went ape shit on that D-bag Cyclops and his X-Men, later True Believer? I think Juggernaut has gone completely apeshit on the X-Men quite a few times, and I think every time he's come pretty close to destroying them, and then the X-Men have turned it around at the last minute. So I think if he did it again, I wouldn't be surprised if the X-Men put him in his place, because that is what the X-Men do. And Sean Scopa, or Sean, said, Avengers Age of Ultron isn't exactly what happened in the comic, but it is about Ultron. James Spaz is voicing him and doing the motion capture. Also, Tony Stark builds Ultron in the movie. Yeah, so like we discussed earlier. But yeah, cool. I like it when they don't necessarily stick to the comics, because if they stick like word to word for the comics, then you go to the cinema, it'd be pretty boring because you know what's going to happen. Yusuf Sincere said, Dave, did you watch Thor 2 on Wednesday? It looked like a funny film, but I won't tell me the ending, because there was a power cut in Star City. What, so you were watching Thor and there was a power cut, so you didn't get to see the end? That's actually quite funny. Not for you, but for me. No, as I say, I'm seeing Thor hopefully next week at some point. You also asked, do I have the Citadel DLC? Yes, and I think it was one of the best bits of DLC I've ever bought. Al Garacia said, damn it, Dave, it's Al Garacia. Do you know how many times you butchered my name now? It's over 9,000. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Maybe every time you should just put the pronunciation. Or maybe from now on I'm just going to call you Alki. Just call you Al. That's your new name. Every time, if I ever say Al had a question, it's you I'm talking about. So Al also said, what I want to know though is why don't you play any PC games? There's no real reason. I've got nothing against PC games. To be honest, it's kind of laziness. I've always wanted to play PC games and be a bit of a PC gamer, but I just can't be bothered to teach myself to get good at mouse and keyboard. I'm already quite adept at playing with like a pad and on the console and stuff like that. And to be honest, I can't be bothered to BB. I can't be bothered to BB. I can't be bothered to be bad on like the keyboard and mouse while I learn and get better. I just, for the little time I have playing, I want to just go and play and be good. I know it sounds kind of selfish and elitist a little bit, but when I do play, I just want to sit down, play and chill out and be good at the game. I don't want to try and have to learn a new way of playing. I mean, I did with The Walking Dead just because it was a point-and-click game. You got up, down, left, right, and clicking, and that was pretty much all you really needed. But in saying that I have other games on PC that I just, honestly, I've never played. I got them all in this Halloween Steam sale, wow, a year ago now, and I just haven't played them. I've got Magicka, Payday the Heist, Killing Floor, The Walking Dead, Left 4 Dead, and Left 4 Dead 2, and Team Fortress 2. And never played Left 4 Dead 2. I played a little bit of Left 4 Dead 1, played a bit of Team Fortress, played a bit of Killing Floor, obviously completed The Walking Dead. Magicka and Payday played like a minuscule amount of. But nothing against the games, I like the games, just, I don't know, I'm just not that big on PC. I go to play a game, I go to console. It's maybe because my PC, especially the mouse, it can kind of mess up a little bit. It's one of those laser mouses, and it just, right on the critical point of the game is always when it cuts out on you. But Mission Unstoppable 1 said, hey Dave, a late comment, which I thought I would make after watching your ME2 walkthrough part 101. That packages with Ish quest is a glitch. At least that's what I think it is, as it happens to me. It's very disturbing when you look at all your completed side missions and see this one still flashing. Yeah, that is a glitch. I don't know with regards to uploading this video whether I've actually mentioned it in my walkthrough yet or not, but later on, I think it's just before I embark on the very last mission, I mentioned about this. But yeah, I researched it, and the packages for Ish thing is a glitch. Apparently, if you just complete the mission, and just like say, like he asked for the information, you give him the information, and that's the end of it. Apparently, then it will say it's completed. But if you use any of the Renegade or Paragon speech options to sort of talk him down from trying to take on what's her name? Arya. No, not Arya. yeah, Arya. I was thinking of Game of Thrones then. Yeah, but it's Arya T'Loak. But yeah, if you use any of the speech options, the Paragon or Renegade ones, to talk him down, apparently it just, you complete the mission, but it just doesn't flag it as completing the mission on your quest markers. So you have actually completed it. It's just irritating that, as you say, on the side missions, you've got everything done. You've just got that one still flashing. And there's nothing you can do about it because you have completed the mission. It's just, if you use any of your Paragon or Renegade stuff, it's just a glitch for some reason, which is a pain in the arse. Alexander said, I'm really surprised that I don't have any questions this week. Oh. Well, a comment is always appreciated. Although I will say this, I was looking into this quotation mark fourth Arkham game and was talking to my friend. I read that it was going to be called Arkham Chaos, and my friend said that she heard it was going to be Arkham Queen, something to do with Harley Quinn apparently. Well, it could be one way they could do it. I mean, like, obviously, the end of Arkham City, Joker's dead, and then you had the Harley Quinn DLC. So maybe maybe everyone loved that so much, they're thinking of making one where Harley Quinn's calling the shots. But I'm not sure if Harley Quinn really has the brains to be calling the shots, to be honest with you. I think if they did, they might be able to do, like, Arkham Queen, but the focus would have to be kind of like with Origins on the other criminals. But I'm not sure that they would all take orders from Harley Quinn, to be honest. It seemed like even the random goons didn't want to take orders from Harley Quinn. Speaking of the random goons, I love the fact they had the same voice actors back for the random goons. It's just the game wouldn't be the game without all the normal henchmen in the streets just chatting about stuff and always getting the plot bang on as well. All 3 games, you talk to you just sit there and over-listen to some of the conversations like the random henchmen have on the floor, and they always spell out the plot to you. So if you have no idea what's going on, listen to them, because they will tell you what's going to happen. They get it, they nail it on their head every time. But yeah, Alexander said, actually, I do have a question for you. When you do your walkthroughs, do you do your commentary after recording the footage or while you're doing it? I'm just wondering, because at times during your Arkham City walkthrough, it seemed like you were doing it after recording the episode. Nope. That's actually the whole reason I started doing walkthroughs as opposed to commentaries and stuff like that. It's because I can't sit down and like watch gameplay that I've recorded and talk over it. I don't know why. I just can't do it. My brain freezes up. I fumble my words. I mean, I'm not saying I don't do that anyway in my live commentary walkthroughs, but no. Always, every single walkthrough you ever see of me, that is me talking whilst playing the game. Always. There's only one time that has not happened, and that was part 13's popping in my head. It was one of the parts in my Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 walkthrough. It was when you're trying to get the prisoners that are being transported along, and what happened there was the first I think it was about half hour, first 40 minutes of my audio got deleted. I think it was only about 20 minutes actually. But the first 20 minutes of my audio got deleted. So what I did was I even said at the start, I said, like, I'm recording this sort of after recording the gameplay. And then at one point I say, okay, look, here's when my audio comes back in now. And then I let it like flow quite seamlessly. I was quite impressed about into the live commentary again. So there's just once for that 1 20-minute gap in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. I did recording like my voice after the gameplay just because my original recording got deleted. But no, every single walkthrough I have, that is always me recording my voice as I'm playing the game. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't get reactions like in Arkham Asylum, where that guy jumped down and that inmate jumped through the vent and scared the bejeebers out of me. You just wouldn't get stuff like that. But no, always recording it live, both footage and voice at the same time. It's the only way to be done. I have actually thought about, like, in the future recording a walkthrough and commentating afterwards, but I think the only time I would do that is if I was doing like a speed walkthrough, like if I actually sped up the gameplay and I'm just saying, like, or if it's kind of like a guide of how to unlock all the Riddler trophies or something like that. If I was actually talking over the top of that and saying, right, now you go here, now you go there, then I might record my voice afterwards. But no, with walkthroughs, always live commentary every single time. Ian Whitaker said, I have a question for you, Dave. I've been on the channel for a while under another name, but imagine if Venom bonded with Spidey again, but this time they became one. How do you think they would both cope? Yeah, I think it would kind of be like almost, close your ears obviously if you don't want to ruin the end of Amazing Spider-Man, like the comic series. But it'd be kind of like, I think, what would be going on with Superior Spider-Man. And as I say, I haven't read any of Superior Spider-Man, so if I get any of this wrong, I can only apologise. I'm just speculating. But I'd imagine it would be kind of like, almost like a schizophrenic kind of Spider-Man, where Spider-Man's got his own voice and he knows what he should do, but he keeps getting these thoughts of what Venom wants to do, and Venom's constantly saying, do this, do that, and he can't hear what's going on in real life because Venom's constantly in his ear. Or maybe at one point he could wake up and he's upside down, like swinging from his webs or something like that, and he's thinking, crap, Venom's taken over me and has done something bad, you know, what's he done? Kind of like that actually happened in the comics for a bit, but yeah, I think there'd be like a whole sort of two voices in one mind sort of thing going on, split personality, and in the end there'd have to be like one internal battle inside his head to see which one is the dominant consciousness, if you see what I mean, like Venom or Spidey. I think something like that would eventually have to happen, but that's what I think they would probably do. It seems like the sort of writing goes on with Spidey. Yao Yin said, and if I got your name right, I'm really proud, said, hey Dave, when and if Mass Effect 4 comes out, will you be making a walkthrough of it, even though people say it won't be about Shepard? Oh yeah, unless the thing is god-awful terrible, and I don't think it deserves anyone to ever see the game, yeah, I'll definitely do a Mass Effect 4 walkthrough. As you all know, I absolutely love the game. You also asked, seriously though, are you a Pokemon geek? Because you seem to know a lot of it, but I don't know what's so good about it. It seems like it's a game for kids. It's kind of both really. It is a game for kids. I mean, the story is just, it's pants. It's just, we're trying to take over the world. We're another group that's to do with plasma or rockets or flares or something like that. But yeah, we're going to try and do this, and we're going to use Pokemon for our own gain, and then one 10-year-old kid completely rolls over the entire group of them. And so I don't see why one of these bad guys never thought just to whip out a gun and shoot the kid. So I mean, it is a game aimed at kids, but there is a more serious strategic side to it if you're an adult. Like, if you're a kid, you can just pick it up and go, yay, my fire type can beat your grass type, and it's, you know, fun la-di-da-di-da. But then, as an adult, you can take it a bit more seriously, and you train your Pokemon up, and you're thinking, right, I'm going to get this type, that type, that type, that type. And I know I'm heading towards this cave, so what I do is if I get this type, like what I do is if I have let's just take a really easy example. So, say I have a fire type. No, say I have a water type. Its weaknesses are, say, like electric or grass. Just picking two out there. Its weaknesses are electric or grass. So what I'll do is try and teach it attack, which could benefit that. So say if I'm getting attacked, I've only got my water type Pokemon left, and I'm getting attacked by an electric type, I will try and teach it my water type a rock or a ground type move, because I know that electric type is weak to rock or ground type moves. So in that way, if I'm stuck and that's my last Pokemon left and now I'm against something that it's weak against, I will hope and pray that my speed is up high enough, and then I'll get the first attack in and either hit it with a rock attack or a ground attack, and then one hit KO it. I think it's always the best strategy, because everyone's always going to try and throw at you what you're weak to. So if you make sure that it's packed with moves that can beat its weakness, then... So yeah, you see what I mean? Obviously, if you never play Pokemon, that might have just been all jibber jabber to you. But there is a more adult strategic side to it if you want to get that involved into it. But I mean, on the basis of it, yeah, it is really just a game for kids. But they're obviously, like myself, I was a kid when Blue and Red first came out on the Game Boy. So, and now I'm 25. It's like I've grown up playing every single Pokemon as they've come out. So yeah, it is aimed at kids, but the original kids who played it, they're now adults. So they kind of have to, kind of like with comics and with cartoons and stuff like that, they have to cater for both audiences, because yes, they want to get new kids into it, but yet you can't push away your original audience who made you famous in the first place, and now they're adults, so you need to also cater for them. And I think that's a fine line that the people like Marvel and DC are always trying to tiptoe. They want to get kids involved, but at the same time they've got to make sure their adult audience are still entertained. So no, I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a high competitive market when it comes to Pokemon. I mean, you get competitive battles, like Wi-Fi battles with Pokemon, really serious stuff, just like you do with any sort of competitive online game. But yeah, I would say I'm probably more of a Pokemon geek than the average dude who plays it, but then I'm nowhere near like Wi-Fi battling status like a lot of people are out there. I mean, if you type in Pokemon Wi-Fi battle and watch their battles, I'm nowhere near that standard. Nowhere near. But if you're going to look at your average gamer, yeah, I pretty know more than they do. But anyway, please spend way too much time on that question. Well, speaking of, actually, we're coming near the end. Donald Dimmick said, on Marvel Ultimate Alliance, have you done one where you save Jean instead of Nightcrawler? How different is the scene from saving Jean to Nightcrawler? That was actually why I saved Nightcrawler instead of Jean, because either answer for that is bad. There is no good outcome for that. You can't save both and whatever, or you can't bring one back to life. But basically, I'm trying to remember how it goes now. You kill Jean, like I did in my walkthrough, and she comes back as the Phoenix Force, and she's all pissed off, and she tries to take everyone down, yada yada yada. But if you kill Nightcrawler instead, Mystique comes back angry because Nightcrawler's Mystique's son, and she kills Charles Xavier, like blaming him for Nightcrawler's death. So you basically, they're your two options. Jean Grey dies, comes back as the Phoenix Force. Let's face it, she's probably going to do it at some point, even if she's alive. And she tries to take on the X-Men, but as far as the credits say, nobody actually dies. They don't actually name anyone that's died. They just say she comes back as the Phoenix Force. Nightcrawler dies, and Professor X gets killed by Mystique. So I figured that was the better option. Phoenix Force comes back, everyone fights it off, that'll be la-di-da-di done. But Nightcrawler dies, Professor X dies. So it's, I figured, you know, both bad options, but, you know, lesser of two evils, I guess. KK Rocky Lavaguana said, Dave, love your videos, but what would you do when Marvel and DC fail to make anything that can best their past games? Will you still play it, or add another game company to your channel? Oh. Add another game company? I don't even have one game company yet. I don't know. It's one of those things that you have to be prepared for. At one point, Marvel or DC might go downhill. I mean, there's only really, depending on sort of like the writing talent they have, it's one thing that could happen. One day they could eventually come up with no good ideas, and it could just plummet and go downhill. Stocks get sold, and that's the end of Marvel and DC. If they were still making games but they were bad, I think I'd still play them for a time. But then if there was a bit of a repetitive pattern where every game was just god awful and there was just no, there was no change, it was just repetitive and it was just terrible after terrible after terrible, yeah, I'd stop playing them. I'm not one of these people who will play something even if it's bad just because I want to stand by them. If they're making something and it's terrible, I'm not going to play it. It's kind of just the way it is. I'd want to keep playing it in the hope that it would get better, and I probably would for the first 2 or 3 games. But then after about a couple of years, if they're still churning out god awful games, then yeah, I'd stop playing it. And unfortunately, it'd probably make me lose interest in the actual franchise. I hope it wouldn't, but there's a good chance that would happen. So let's just all hope and pray that DC and Marvel just stay on form. Mr. Candyman 13 said, Marvel Mass Effect 2 Normandy Stories 21 question. I'm still confused about the birth of Legion. When he explains to you about where the Geth stand, but does this mean the Geth have been hosts of the Collectors also? Have you ever done or will you do a Resident Evil walkthrough? The Husker and ME2 reminded me of this. Probably won't do a Resident Evil walkthrough. Yeah, it's very unlikely. If I did, it would only if like a mate of mine ever wanted to do a co-op one, but I have no interest in playing Resident Evil, to be honest. The birth of Legion. I'm trying to think now. Why did this question have to come up at the end of this thing? My brain's tired now. Yeah, I'm probably going to get this a little bit wrong. My brain's knackered now. We've been going for over nearly an hour and 20 minutes coming on, so my brain's a bit tired now. But basically, like with the Geth are all one mind. The Geth are all just one. They just have different bodies. So think of the Geth almost as like red blood cells in your body. The human is the Geth. Like say you as a person, Mr. Candyman, you're a Geth. All your red blood cells, they're like the Geth that Shepard is killing all the time. All the blood cells in your body, they're just loads of different versions, loads of Geth, but they've all share the same mind. They're all one consciousness. What they're basically getting at with Legion is, I think, I'm actually forgetting how. It's so long ago I actually listened to what they said with Legion, but basically what it is they created one single mobile platform which is separate from the rest of the Geth. So he's still in contact, he's still one mind with them, but he can be out of contact with the rest of the Geth, yet still maintain his intelligence and his thought. Like the other Geth, if they separate, the less Geth there are, the less intelligent they become. However, in Legion's case, they actually made one standalone platform that could host this single intelligence of the whole Geth, so he can be out on his own and he can venture off. Because as they said, he was investigating into Shepard. But if there was hundreds of Geth, that would have caused attention. So he had to go in on his own, undetected. And if he wasn't made this standalone platform with his own central intelligence, then he would have just been a dumb husk walking around. At least that's how much I remember. I could have been completely wrong, because as I say, my brain's really tired at this point, so I may have remembered that wrong. It's been a while since I recorded the walkthrough. But no, that doesn't mean that the Geth are hosts to the Collectors. No, that's not it at all. The Collectors are being used by the Reapers. The Collectors used to be Protheans, and then when the Reapers wiped them out, they turned the Collectors into their slaves, just like the Husks were humans. Then they put them on them spikes and they become Husks. Well, that's the same with the Collectors. They were Protheans, and then the Reapers turned them into the Collectors. And when you go to Mass Effect 3, you're going to see a hell of a lot more of that with other species as well. Not just Husks, but the same thing will be happening with the Turians, the Asaris. I mean, I won't get into that too much, but yeah. I mean, basically, they're not working for the Collectors. The Geth are out on their own. And you'll see it. There's a lot more Normandy stories to come with Legion in mind. But he'll go on to say, without ruining too much, he'll go on to say that the Geth pretty much are their own people. But as you're going to find out in the video that just went live as of recording this today, and then when I upload this one, there'll be the second part of Legion's loyalty mission. That will explain a lot more that you're pretty confused about. So yeah, watch the video that went up today, and then, or yesterday I guess, and then when this video that you're listening to now goes live, there should be the second part of Legion's loyalty mission. Hopefully that should clear up a lot of it about what's going on with Legion, so I don't want to say too much because it will give away his story a little bit. But yeah, as I say, my brain's tired. I probably forgot quite a lot and I've messed a few bits up, but that's basically the principle of it. But no, they're not working for the Collectors. The Geth are out on their own. Fintanator said, Dave, love your videos. Which is your favourite Batman Arkham game and why if you finished Origins? Yeah, like I said earlier, it's kind of a mix up between I'd probably still say Asylum's my favourite, just because it's got the kind of... Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's kind of got like the old like Die Hard feel, how it's all happening in one place, and it's just one man trapped there, and he's still got to try and bring them down on his own. Always said it reminds me of Die Hard. Arkham Origins reminds me a lot of Die Hard as well, mainly because it's set at Christmas Eve. I love games that are set at Christmas. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I love Christmas, but that's why I like Die Hard as well. It's the fact that I think it's the... Is it all of them that are set around Christmas, or is it just the second one? No, the first one's Christmas Eve as well, or was that New Year's Eve? I can't remember. But, no, yeah, it's Christmas Eve, isn't it? The first one. Yeah, and that's what I kind of loved about Arkham Origins as well, is the fact that it's Christmas, and it's just about be Christmas. And, I don't know, I just loved it. Basically, if you want me to love something, make it be like Die Hard. And I'm loving it. But yeah, I'd probably say Asylum's one. Very, very, very closely behind it is Origins, and then City's last. I'm a huge fan of City. And very last, but definitely not least, got Giovanni, said, you're welcome Dave, if you could create a new Spider-Man game and you included 2 members of the Avengers, who would they be and why? P.S. I believe Captain's Quarters on iTunes would be a good idea. 2 members of the Avengers. The Thing and... I want to say Wolverine, just because the interaction that Spider-Man and Wolverine have together is normally quite hilarious. And I think a 3 combo of The Thing, Wolverine, and Spider-Man would be pretty cool. Because you've got Spider-Man who's all about high-flying agility, you've got Wolverine who's raw power but also agility, and then you've got Thing that is just raw power. I think that'd make a nice combo. But I don't know, I'd say Wolverine just because I think they have a nice interaction together, them two. But he's in quite a lot of stuff, so if not him, I don't know, maybe Captain America. Maybe. There are other characters, you know, like Hawkeye and stuff like that. Loads of other Avengers that I'm totally forgetting about, like Luke Cage and Iron Fist and stuff like that. But no, I'd say The Thing and Wolverine. I think that would make a nice, cool game. And because Spider-Man quite often interacts with them two anyway. You know, Wolverine and Spider-Man always end up bumping heads, like bumping into each other. Spider-Man and The Thing come from the same areas of like New York, and it's just, yeah. Thing and Wolverine, I'd actually quite like that to be in the game. But yep, that is that done. That rounds up the end of this Captain's Quarters. As always, if you guys have any questions or comments that you want to ask me in relation to anything I've said today or any other videos, that I upload, feel free to write it in the comment section below and just let me know what you think. And as always, if there's anything that I've talked about and you guys want to weigh in your opinions, feel free to write in the comment section. I always love to know what you guys think about some of the stuff. I was going to say some of the stuff we've been talking about, but I suppose it's just me, really. Nah, it's a conversation. We're having a conversation. So yeah, anything I've said today, you want to weigh in your opinions, feel free to leave that in the comments as well. But that is the end of this one. So, as always, my name's Captain Dave. This has been the Captain's Quarters, and I'll catch you guys later.